Hello there, it's Terry from terryemily.com and where I talk about live streaming and video for your online business. Now, before I get really started, I always check to make sure I am live streaming properly. Something that you should always do because it's inevitably something can and will go wrong um, when you least expect it. And I'm not seeing it. There it is. Okay, let me check one more thing over here. So hopefully you're doing well today. And while I try to do multiple things at one time, when you are a one woman show, that's how it goes. So let me do this real quick. And today I'm going to be talking about tips for conquering your fear when you go live um, or on camera, period, whether it's a live stream, um, something is not going quite right. See, I tell you. Let's see. Here we go. All right. We're set now. I can actually look up from the computer and talk about what I want to talk about. So, whether you are live streaming or um, going on camera, it can be nerve wracking, especially if you have never done it before. And so, I had the opportunity to sort of talk to a woman over the weekend via messenger chat who that was sort of her stumbling block of being afraid to go online. And so I thought I would come online and talk a little bit about the fear of being on camera. I've heard this from numerous people that are just terrified to be on camera. They don't want to look stupid and or they're don't worried about what they're going to say, on and on and on. And so there's lots of reasons why. Most of them are just, we internalize, we don't want to look like an idiot on camera. And so I thought like I said, I would address a few of those today. So one of the things that I believe that a lot of people don't realize until they've done it is that you're going to hate the way you sound on camera. I don't care who you are. Most people don't like the way they sound on camera. They hear themselves back and they're like, is that the way I sound? This is weird or this is odd. One, talking to a camera is just odd. You're not talking to a person per se. And so I was like, yes, it is odd, but I want to reiterate to you that obviously, well, hopefully, you already have friends and family that love you. And so they like the way you sound. There's going to be other people that like the way you sound. And don't get hung up on listening to yourself. I still cringe every time I listen to myself on video, especially when I have to do editing. I just like, once it's done, I finalize it and I distribute it. Like, I don't go back and listen to it. I cringe. I just don't like the way I sound. But it works and people find value in what I'm talking about, and so that's the piece that matters. That's the piece you want to focus on. And so the piece of that I heard, I don't know, somebody say is, who is waiting on you to show up? Like, there's some expertise and some knowledge, some tip that you're going to be able to offer, and only you, because you're going to put your slant on it, and somebody is waiting for you to show up. And so, if you don't show up based on just how you think you sound, eh. that's not a good enough reason. And you move through it and think about all the people you've learned from, that if they didn't show up, how much harder maybe what you're doing would be. And that's whether it's business, school, what have you. It doesn't really matter. The second tip I want to leave for you is to kind of just be you. Now, by that, I'm more thinking about your look and feel. Like if you're a t-shirt kind of person versus, maybe wearing dressier clothes, do that. If you like wearing makeup, excuse me, if you like wearing makeup, wear makeup, but don't feel that you don't have to if you are a person that doesn't want to wear a lot of makeup. Now, I know for me, I put on a little concealer so we don't show all the bags that I'm carrying around. But sometimes I just get on camera, all natural. And the thing that I probably always have is lipstick. Like, I'm a fanatic about making sure I always have lipstick. It has nothing to do with being on camera, just that I really love lipstick. I don't know what it is, but I always have lipstick. A little quick story. I grew up on the East Coast, and I used to go fishing a lot. My dad would take my sister and I fishing, sometimes deep sea fishing, sometimes by the pier. Well, as an adult, I still would do that. And I had my own like tackle box, for those that don't fish. It's got your fishing gear, your hooks, and, your lines and all this other kind of stuff. Well, in my tackle box, I have lipstick too, and my hand sanitizer. I'm that kind of fisherwoman. Yes, a little princess about it, but I have to have my lipstick. So I have lipstick all around the house, tucked in the cars, and what have you. And so, although I don't do a lot of fishing now that I live in the Arizona in the desert, I still have lipstick everywhere I go. So anyway, it's rare that you will see me on camera without lipstick. But if that's not your thing, like I said, don't feel obligated to get all dressed up and prim and proper. The people that you will attract are going to be like you. So just be your authentic self, and come as you are. Jeans, t-shirt, what have you. Nobody wants to feel like they can't live up to what you're doing too, especially if your brand that you're building or your business that you're building is kind of built on something that you're really not. So just be authentically you. Um, the other tip, so on tip number 3, I would suggest is practice a lot. Now, you see me looking down a little bit at my computer because, I'm checking things and seeing if there's any comments. And in fact, I just probably hid the window that has that. But you want to practice. It can just be short videos. It can, hold your phone, the webcam, sit in front of a computer, what have you. Talk a little bit about anything. Say a nursery rhyme and record yourself and play it back. And the reason why is because we all have nervous tics. We all have speech patterns that we want to refine and get better, or that we just don't realize. So one of the things that I realize is that I have these long blinks when I'm on camera, and it was driving me crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? So you look like you're falling asleep. But I didn't realize as I was talking and I'm thinking through something, I would close my eyes, but they would be these exaggerated long pauses or that were showing up. And sometimes I couldn't edit them out and I would have to re record. So I probably just did it. I think I was just conscious that I just did it, and I have these long blinks. And I say the word actually a lot. Actually. And so you practice, you write out scripts, and you practice not to the point that it doesn't feel natural, but you practice out your idiosyncrasies. And so you'll learn what you do on camera, that you or what you've been doing in real life will show up magnified on camera. Now, that doesn't mean not to do it. Just keep moving forward. You're going to only get better. But everybody has some little idiosyncrasies, even if they're long blinks like I do sometimes when I'm thinking through what I'm going to say on camera. Isn't it crazy, the little things? I'm catching myself now. I'm very conscious of it. That we have these, there we go, a fast blink. These idiosyncrasies about ourselves, how we sit, how we hold our hands, talk with our hands, move, the types of words that we say, the quickness or slowness of our speech pattern. So practice, 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 and you'll get better. I don't think there's a perfect, but I do think there is room for improvement for all of us. Let me check my notes here, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So, two more things. One that has sort of nothing to really do with maybe yourself, but your environment. So, like right now, I'm sitting in front of a window. It's kind of a cloudy day in Arizona, so my lighting isn't quite right, but it's okay. But one of the things that I do before I go live is I will cool down the room, because, believe it or not, the air condition or fan can have noise that can show up on camera, or you'll hear it over the mic. Now, you might not be very conscious of it, or you might feel the air, obviously, but you don't realize how strong certain sounds will show up on camera, and whether that's recorded or whether it's definitely live streaming. And so there's lots of different environmental things that you can do to improve how you show up on camera. Now, you might not think that that has to do with the fear of being on camera, but it makes it so that your presentation, what you're talking about, nobody's getting distracted or frustrated with what you're saying on camera, because you have all this extra noise going on. And it's something as minor as, it's not really minor, but as the AC or fan or like a bell or animals, and sometimes our lovely children will stroll in as you're recording and or even doing a live stream, and you want to minimize things in your environment. Phones buzzing, ringing, dinging. There's all kinds of things environmentally that we can change to help boost our confidence and won't throw us off if all of a sudden we're in the middle of a live stream and we get a text message. It can definitely throw things off for you. So the last tip that I want to leave with you, about conquering fear, besides practicing and learning our idiosyncrasies, is to show up on camera like over animated. Like, even I have to work on that, because I can get excited about something, but it doesn't necessarily show up on my face unless I'm smiling or something like that. And so you can use your hands and all these other kind of things, not necessarily as a distraction, but whatever you're expressing on camera gets exaggerated on camera. So even though we might be, well, today this was really great, something really great happening, it doesn't convey that. So you have to be, oh my God, this greatest thing happened to me today at the grocery store. And you're like, you're losing your mind and you're talking to a camera. But when you play it back, it won't be as exaggerated as you're doing it live or recorded. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it is true. And if you've been fortunate enough to, go to a play, or whether it's your child, and it's not about how good of acting they are, but think about a play and how they have to be overly animated for you to feel the emotion that they're trying to convey. That's the same thing as being on camera, that you have to be overly animated for to convey what you're meaning or expressing on camera. So these are just a few tips I wanted to throw out there. If you would like some more tips, I was thinking about putting a list together. Comment below with, let's say, hashtag I need this. In fact, I'll put it in the comments. Let's say if you want hashtag I need tips, or I need tips. Yeah, I need tips. If you want more tips, I'll put a list together of things that can help, and then I will get that out in a few days or so, if there's any interest in it, because there's so many things, as far as there's the geeky gear stuff, and then some of it's just mindset and plowing through it, and things that can help you to practice to get better. So that's it for today, for a few tips on conquering your fear. Comment below and let me know if you have found this helpful and useful, and I will talk to you later. Bye.